Hey everybody, welcome to season 2 of On Location. I'm here with my buddy Ryan and our new friend Sophia.
Yes.
You might be asking yourself, Ryan and Sarah, where are you in the world right now? We are in the beautiful city of Reno, Nevada. It is August 31st, 2020, and we've spent the last 3 months having social distance shoots in Reno, the Bay Area, LA, and Sacramento to bring to you guys some amazing interviews with some of our favorite people. But it's important for us to acknowledge that there were some limitations to what we could do because we're in the midst of a pandemic still.
Yeah, travel restrictions coming down to the county, the state, the specific place that we want to potentially shoot, the accommodations of the people that we asked to jump on camera and how comfortable they were, any particular things that we had to do. You even reached out to media organizations to start to figure out how we go about this.
And medical doctors.
Yeah.
See, initially when we first were thinking about shooting, we're like, oh my gosh, can we even do this safely? And we determined that we could. And we created a clear filming protocol for all of our participants. And we had a clear filming protocol for myself and Ryan and our director of photography, Jarek. Sophia was not involved in the filming protocol, so she's a late addition to On Location. And another limitation we want to acknowledge, the first part of season 2 of On Location is really delving much deeper into issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we need to be clear, in no way, shape, or form have we been able to capture the total breadth of diversity that exists within our field. And again, a lot of this has to do with the fact that Ryan and I only shot people that we could drive to and see. So obviously there's a lot of West Coast love happening on season 2 of On Location because we couldn't go to see our friends in the Midwest or the South or the East Coast. And so we think that that's really important to acknowledge that what we've been able to do is to be able to bring you some of the diversity inclusion that's going on in behavior analysis, but in no way, shape, or form is it all.
And I think we're also well positioned to add content to this as well over time to be able to improve that. So this is a perfect segue into talking about the 3 different ways in which we wanted to start to organize this content that you brilliantly came up with. So can you talk about those?
Absolutely. For those of you that's watched This Way of Thinking with Pat Fryman, we felt that it really set the stage in terms of how a behavior analytic approach to thinking about how we exist in the world is so powerful. And I think we heard so much feedback from people that this meant so much to them and it made them feel so excited about the work that they do in behavior analysis. And when Ryan and I were conceptualizing what season 2 might be, one of the things I really thought about it is how can we kind of bring these themes with us throughout all of the different things that we do. And I had this epiphany when I was in Seattle earlier this summer, and I thought, oh my gosh, I got it. So this way of thinking was, again, kind of how do we fundamentally approach our environment and how do we fundamentally approach everything that we do in our life? Season 2 is really looking at more specifically, how do we value being in this world as behavior analysts, looking at both our values, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our next segment is going to be called This Way of Doing, which is how do we do and conduct research in academia and decide on the topics that we're talking about, and how do we continue to really expand the breadth of work that we're doing in behavior analysis, especially outside of only working with people on the autism spectrum. The third segment of what we're going to bring you guys is called This Way of Practicing. And what we decided to do with this part is look at how practitioners can integrate more research into their practice, the role of different associations in individual practice and organizational practice. And then we had the opportunity to do a deeper dive with one specific organization, KLAB, out of Los Angeles. And we decided to focus on an organization that we believe is doing really great work specifically for people on the autism spectrum, since we know that that's where most behavior analysts are practicing right now. So again, we're really starting with that theme that Pat gave to us in season 1 with This Way of Thinking in terms of a behavior analytic approach to living. And in season 2, we're looking at how is this way of being, how do we be with each other? How do we value diversity, equity, and inclusion? This way of doing in terms of what is the research that we're doing and how do we push out new ideas and think about them? And this way of practicing, which really looks at what are the variety of different supports that are needed in order for us to practice as individuals, to practice as organizations, and how can we, again, bring some information to you about organizations that we think are doing a particularly great job, specifically in the autism sector, since that was where most of you guys are practicing right now.
So we are extremely indebted to a whole lot of people. You're gonna see them all across these 3 different segments. Who do we need to extend thanks to just on this first one particularly?
We owe a huge, huge thank you to a number of people that you'll be seeing on This Way of Being. Dr. Julia Fiebig, the incredible Dr. Ellie Kazemi, and a number of her students from KLAB, Dr. Antonio Harrison, Dr. Adele Nadowski, Daniel Mendoza, Chasen Robinson, Carolina Gonzalez, Dr. Marlisha Bell, Dr. Meg Heineke, Dr. Kyle Miguel, and Johnny Tarbox. And also a very special thank you to Sarah Litvak. A lot of the footage that you're going to see for both This Way of Being, This Way of Doing, and even This Way of Practicing was shot at Sarah's house because our location in LA fell through at the last minute, and without Sarah and Alex Litvak and Ella Litvak being willing to allow us to use their backyard, we would not be able to bring you On Location Season 2.
All right, so enough talking about it. It's out, check it out, CEUs, everything, all the information included the link below. We'll see you in there.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Peace. We out.
We out. That's it.